Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. What should people seriously stop buying? Does anyone else notice that those Herbalife smoothie places keep popping up all over, but they are so shady about it? They look like average mom and pop smoothie places with no Herbalife branding on the outside or anywhere inside, but then they start making your smoothie and bam, they pull out the Herbalife powder. Literally just happened to me. There's a small, cute smoothie place near where I work that I've been wanting to try. They posted on social media that they have an app, and I thought, a small place like this has their own app. Nope. The QR code took me to the Herbalife app. My dad used to be involved with them to the point where most of the stuff we ate and drank was Herbalife brand. Herbalife smoothies, bars, you name it, it was in the goddamn house. He stopped after one of their products gave my mom stomach ulcers that nearly landed her in the emergency room multiple times. Also, I'm pretty sure they got sued or something, but my mind is a bit fuzzy on that. Also, those ads that claim you have an outrageous amount of toxic poop inside you. 5, 10, 20 plus pounds. It's absolute poetry that people who are full of shit try to say. It's you that's full of shit. Well, the company made big dollar by selling cancer-causing products, then covering it up, then turning around and keeping a lot of the dollar they collect as donations. It would be more accurate to say they knowingly promote vs sell carcinogenic products and activities, such as fracking, which causes a rise in cancers that typically have environmental causes, such as breast cancer, and suppress new information about cancer-promoting chemicals like BPA. Since this blew up, I wanted to provide a bit of an update. When I was in middle school, the emo kids would wear these shirts with their self-harm wounds out. I used to think they were so cool, and now at 23 I look back and hope they all turned out okay. Before I went for my interview for my job, I looked up the person I would be interviewing with. I saw that she was a cancer survivor, and that her entire social media was dominated by pink stuff. I wore the brightest, pinkest top I had to that interview, because I knew it would influence her in my favor. I was right. Smiley face. She constantly tried to get me to participate or donate, but I politely refused. I did do some photography for her one time, so I wasn't a total jerk. I was also honest with her about how I felt about the Komen Foundation. She was nice, but it was her entire personality, and it was terribly sad. You mean buying a Michael Scott's Dunder Mifflin Scranton Meredith Palmer Memorial Celebrity Rabies Awareness Fun Run Pro AM Race for the Cure t-shirt was a mistake? Not a sexy or flashy response, but no one should be buying a boiler, furnace, or water heater below 90% efficiency. The 80% efficiency equipment is ancient technology, and you are throwing your money away while also spewing more greenhouse gases? Equally not sexy. But I've been getting into heat pump appliances lately. I got a heat pump hot water tank a year or two ago. It was a bit more expensive up front, but is massively more efficient than a conventional water heater. Next up is my dryer. My current dryer is about 15 years old. Still works reasonably well, but has literally one setting: make it hot. No fluff cycle, or low heat, or anything remotely fancy. It makes hot air the end. I'll probably be replacing it in a year or two, and a ventless heat pump dryer is currently on my radar. Not only is the device itself significantly more efficient, but it will let me plug up the vent hole in my wall, hence, ventless, and thus make the general heating and cooling of my house more efficient. What is their conservation status? Wikipedia doesn't mention it for some reason. Different kinds have different status. Most seem to be threatened, endangered. Wiki mentions it if you go to specific pangolin species. All are some level of endangered, with the Chinese pangolin in the critically endangered oh fuck stage just before extinction. They are banned in the US in face washes, body scrubs, toothpastes and the like if they are not biodegradable. Unfortunately, there are still major markets this ban does not address. They are not technically banned in sandblasting products, cosmetic products that are left on the skin, detergents, and possibly many more types of products that are just so hard to track down. God, this reminded me that I had a hermit crab when I was little and way too young to take care of it, and it died and I never noticed and it was just gone. I'm a huge animal lover and don't really believe in having animals in captivity, and that was a total repressed memory. Now I feel so awful. I had a hermit crab as a kid too. His name was Hermie and I cared for him very well, so he lived a decent amount of time. When he passed I was so upset. We went to the pet store to pick out another one, but it just wasn't the same. One that caught my attention ended up pinching me, so I decided I didn't want a replacement for Hermie. Rip little guy, I'll always remember his green and white shell. We had Clacky. One day he crawled out of his shell and he was covered with some kind of mites or beetles. He must have been in pure misery if it made him abandon his shell. We put him in water and tried to remove all of whatever they were on him, but he died shortly after. Within minutes. So, generally speaking, it's best to not make pets out of hermit crabs. And definitely boycott Nestle too, while you're at it. Oldest known codes of law in human history pertain to slave owning. Slavery has been a plague of civilization since the start. The days since last moment of no slavery and days any human civilization was around are the same number. Good friend of mine got into, and she makes these deep thought posts on FB about flowers and coffee and whatever else, and then ends with the scent she's currently inhaling. I wanted to be supportive, so I ordered some stuff and my credit card company refused to process the transaction. It depends on the size of the sheet. Mythbusters got a massive sheet of paper folded in half 11 times. To get a sheet of paper large enough to fold 51 times, it would have to be as large as the entire solar system, including Pluto's orbit. There isn't enough wood pulp on Earth to create a sheet that size, even if all the recycled paper in the world were used. I know a lady that's super into doTERRA and claims it cured her kids' skin issues, so she can sell more. Her husband said a doctor prescribed the kid cream which he applied, and that was what took care of the problem. It's just a whole heap of baloney. She brings it up in every conversation. It's so cringe and cult-like. My mill is big into young living, and I'm so glad that my wife and all of her siblings have come down so hard on it that she just keeps it to herself now. She isn't losing money on it, although she's not making any either, and it's basically her entire social life now that she's retired, so it is what it is. Your mill's children getting together to keep her from using her familial influence to guilt them into buying things is already a huge step toward helping your mill. Unfortunately, part of the tragedy of MLMs is not only that you get fucked, but on the way to getting yourself fucked, you fuck over the people closest to you by getting them in on the scheme, so you simultaneously damage yourself and your safety net. That's along with the psychological cost of knowing you're the reason why your closest friends and family are fucked too. I hope she's able to get out with minimal damage. I've accepted the fact that she won't ever get out, but as long as she isn't losing money or being a pain about it at family gatherings, I can live with it. At this point, it's not worth the fight unless it's having severe negative consequences. But you could be your own boss babe. Switch your 9 to 5 to 24/7 and go in deepest and darkest debt forever when the dream you are chasing flies farther away every day. Doesn't it just sound lovely, hun? DM me for info. I remember when my brother told me he started a business, and I was excited to support him. Then he sent me an Amway link, which I hadn't heard of, and after like 10 minutes of Googling I found out that the average income from Amway was like $1. Needless to say, my brother ignored me and assured me that those ones just didn't work hard enough. That's the really sinister fucking part, and why they've taken off like rockets in the last decade. They appeal to folks who swallowed the delusion that not only can they work harder than everyone else because everyone else is lazy, but that hard work is that rare and valuable commodity that so many employers are so very much in need of. In reality, most low-skill employers around where I live don't allow their employees to work as many hours as they want because part-time employees get jack shit. Thank you for watching.